Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the celebration of National and African Youth Day. For the international scene, the G20 reaffirms its ambition, skepticism among environmental defenders. Welcome to our newsroom. Following the example of the rest of the continent, the Republic of Djibouti celebrates today, Monday, 1st November, at the People's Palace, the National and African Youth Day. Moreover, the celebration of this day has always been organized with pomp and circumstances, with big festivities every 1st November for several years at the People's Palace under the high patronage of Prime Minister and Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. The Ministry of Youth and Culture celebrate this highly symbolic day for the benefit of youth. This event was attended by several members of the government, including the Minister of Youth and Culture, Hibo Momin Asoui, as well as several other members of the government, and the presence of the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces. It was therefore an opportunity for music fans, mainly young people, that a number of groups performed and set the moods on the stage and provided the show established in 2006. African Youth Day is an annual opportunity to promote the recognition of young people as key actors for social change, an opportunity to celebrate youth on the continent, and an opportunity to contribute and channel the motivation, energy, and creativity of young people towards political, economic, and social renewal, as well as to help channel youth voices, energy, and idealism to strengthen efforts to achieve sustainable development in Africa. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Hibo Momin Asowe, in her speech broadly outlined the government strategy and the actions already taken. This event also aims to harness the idealism, energy, and voice of youth to strengthen initiative for achieving sustainable development in Africa. The Prime Minister Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed said for his part, as every year on this date, we gather to celebrate the National and African Youth Day, a day that highlights the vital role of African youth in the renewal of our country and our continent. And I am delighted about that today Africa has the youngest population in the world, with more than 400 million young people aged between 15 and 35 years. According to the recent data and current trends suggested that this number will double by 2045. This specificity is key factors in the future of this rapidly changing continent. It is therefore no exaggeration to say that betting on Africa's youth is betting on the futures of the continent, and this involves major challenges that are already there and to which we must of course respond as matters of urgency. With this data you will understand that a broad and inclusive economic transformations program focused on the continent youth is indispensable. All African countries through the African Union are working on this task with great commitment. They have ambitions to transform their economies because there is an absolute need to build knowledge-based institutions and the undeniable asset of an educated and well-trained youth. The African Union has developed several continental youth development policies and programs aimed at ensuring that the continent reaps the benefit of its demographic dividend. These policies include the African Youth Charters, the Plan of Actions for Youth Decade, which are structured around the main priorities areas: education and skills development, youth employment and entrepreneurship, governance, peace, security, youth health and reproductive health, right and agriculture, climate change and environment. This fuel participation of young people in all the more necessary because although they are the future, the world in its alarming statistics frighten them in the present time. Young people account for more than half an unemployed in Africa. A larger proportions are still not in school and drop out early, and many girls suffer from lack of schooling. The President of the Republic, always a visionary and always one step ahead, said during the national dialogue with Djibouti's youth that it is up to the public authorities to support young people by putting in place appropriate measures in terms of education, health, investment, housing, and jobs, access to basic services to best prepare our young people for this future. And that is also up to our youth to remain focused on their future, to train themselves to have a sense of civic values so that they can be the actors of the change they are calling for end of quote. On the sidelines of the ceremony, the Prime Minister, His Excellency Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, proceeded to the decorations and elevate Mr. Naguib Abdallah Mohammed Kamil to the rank of officers in the National Order of June 27, as well as several other major actors who have worked for the cause of Djiboutian youth to the ranks of officers of the National Order of 27 June in recognition of their dedicated works and self-sacrifices. At the end of the decoration ceremony, the Prime Minister Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed congratulated them on their exceptional performance in the services of youth. The Head of State's Grand Prize was awarded annually to any young persons of group of young people who have distinguished themselves in a particularly exemplary manner in the various file of actions and youth initiatives. 4 prizes were awarded to the 4 winners for their creativity. On Tuesday, 1st November 2021, a delegation led by the Minister of Interior, Saeed Nuh Hassan, accompanied by his colleagues in charges of Justice, Ali Hassan Bahdoun, the Prefect of Tajura Region, Hassan Dabali Ahmed, and members of the Parliament, Omar Aden and Mr. Ibrahim Sheikhem, traveled to the locality of Balho. The purpose of the visit was to prepare for the arrival of the Prime Minister and acting head of government, Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, tomorrow, Tuesday, 2 November, for talks with the traditional chief and elders of Balho and its surroundings. The Prime Ministers will have to discuss with the elders and on various topics including peace and social harmony, local development, and the improvement of living conditions of the people of this region. In collaboration with the Ministry of Women and Family, the Ministry of Social Affairs, the CNSS, the CNDH, the Sunnah Al-Haya Association organized a forum to address the subject of acceptance difference. Parents of students, specialists in the health sectors, and private companies were also invited to take part in this forum. Projections of the activities of the association Sunnah Al-Haya was viewed by the participant, followed by the presentation of the intervening institutions and the words of the representatives of the ministry present during the event. This forum was provided an opportunity to find out about the reality on the ground through parents' testimonies, the difficulties encountered with daily with children with disability on their needs. Indeed, the Sunnah Al-Haya Association was able to bring together several actors of the society in order to discuss the issue of implementation of devices and the global care of these children. So this day was honored by the presence of Ms. Ulufa Ismail Abdo, Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, who contributed a lot to the event by informing the participants about the social benefit already present on the territory. For her part, the Secretary General of the Association Sunnah Al-Haya said in her speech that the Secretary General of the Ministry of Women and Family has said that the Sunnah Al-Haya Association has organized a forum to address the subject of acceptance of different parents of students as specialists in the health sectors, and private companies were also invited to take part. Ms. Ulufa Ismail Abdu, a Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, said for her part that this forum provided an opportunity to find out about the reality on the ground through parents' testimonies, the difficulties encountered were dealing with the children with disability and their needs. The Minister of Communication in charge of Post Telecommunication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahdon, received today late morning a delegation from the World Bank. This delegation, composed of Mr. Michel Rochi and Eric Dinon, was introduced to the Minister by the representative of the World Bank in Djibouti, Mr. Boubacar Sid Barry. The minister welcomed the delegation and thanked the World Bank Group for the collaboration and technical assistance, financial and multifaceted, provided to the Republic of Djibouti in the file of ICT. The minister then congratulated in particular the World Bank team and the minister's team who successfully negotiated the Djibouti Digital Foundation project. The minister was pleased that the minister team and the department team and the World Bank team have finally found an agreement to start this project, which will allow the transformation of our economy into the digital economy with the urgent operationalization of the multisectoral regulatory authorities of Djibouti, the Ministry of Digital Economy and Innovation, as well as the Department of Communication, to carry out the important work of sectoral reforms undertaken by our government. The mediator of the Republic, Moumin Ahmed Sheikh, received in his office the regional directors of the URI Africa, Monsieur Hailou, and the regional coordinators of URI Horn of Africa for the signature of memorandums of understanding between the Mediatorate of Djibouti and URI Horn of Africa. The objective of this meeting is to develop a framework for effective cooperation between the mediators' offices and of the Republic of Djibouti and the NGO United Religions Initiative Horn of Africa in order to further strengthen the culture of peace and non-violence, counter-violence, extremism, radicalization, and hate of speech, social reconciliation, conflict prevention resolutions, promote inter-religious and intercultural dialogue, and finally combat tribal and ethnic discrimination. URI Horn of Africa is a sub-regional NGO affiliated to the URI Africa that works in the sub-region. It brings together groups of people from different cultures, religions, and traditions to share a common cause.
Violence, and to promote a culture of peace, justice, and healing for the earth and all living beings. URI, or URI, has already a memorandum of understanding with the African Ombudsman and Mediators Association. With IGAD, we also signed a working partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here for the Horn of Africa office. URI being very much committed to promote a culture of peace, interreligious and intercultural dialogue and harmony in our region, Horn of Africa.
In his speech, the mediator of the Republic, Momin Ahmed Sheikh, recalled the signing of this memorandum of understanding to promote human dignity, the rule of law, good governance, conflict resolution, peaceful cohabitation, and mutual respect between people of different religions and cultures. The Omar Gelle Ahmed Basic Teacher Center hosted on Sunday 31 October and Monday 1st November a training session for basic education teachers from Djibouti City and the regions. The training was led by the leaders of the Working Group for the Promotion of Reading and was supported by UNESCO through the UNESCO National Commissions. In his opening remarks, the Secretary General of the UNESCO National Commission, Mr. Mohamed Moussa Yabe, recalled the importance of reading in school curricula and the close relationship between regular readings and performance. He also clarified the objectives of the training during 2 days. The facilitator of the trainings came back to the importance of reading, the criteria for choosing books for young people, the specificities of reading for pleasure, and the techniques of animations of library and reading corners. At the end of the training, the teachers left more aware of the need to get their pupils to read and better equipped to run library and reading corners. After this training, it is planned to develop and share with the teachers a practical guide on animation techniques based on media such as albums, comics, stories, plays, and management of reading corners. In the framework of the project Monicol Amwa, the Citizens' Day of the 2021-2022 school year started yesterday in all schools of Altas region. This day massively mobilized the whole educational community, parents, students, teachers, school directors, pedagogical staff, administrative and customary authorities. The activity of the Citizenship Day were cleaning of classrooms, ownerships of the school environment, initiative of the school garden, organizing a march of the students of the school. The mobile team of Tajura Customs Brigade, chaired by Jilani Sheikh Mohammed, says an important quantity of cat of 2,000 kilogram with the collaborations of Tajura regions. The Director General of the Custom Brigade, Guled Ahmed Yusuf, congratulated all the collaborators of the Tajura Customs Forces and the agents of the Tajura Custom Brigade. We regretfully learned of the death of the late Saida Mahmoud Saleh the night before last in Djibouti. The deceased was the mother of our colleague Intisar Ibrahim Suleiman, a journalist and presenter of the Afar section. The deceased was born in 1964 and leaves behind her 8 children, including 3 daughters. In these painful circumstances, the management and the staff of RTD extend their condolences to her families. May Allah welcome her in His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, climate change, G20 reaffirmed its ambitions, environmental skeptical before heading to COP26 in Glasgow. The leaders of the G20 countries reaffirmed on Sunday the objectives of the Paris Agreement while revising climate ambitions slightly upwards. The increase in temperature must be limited to 1.5 degrees compared to the pre-industrial era, whereas the Paris Agreement had set a ceiling of 2 degrees. However, the G20 remains unclear on the time frame for achieving carbon neutrality, with the final statement referring only to the middle of the century. The G20's commitment leaves environmental organizations wanting more ambition from government at COP26, Rarely has environmental pressures been so strong on the world's largest economic powers, a minority of countries that together account for 80% of total greenhouse gas emissions. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.